Good afternoon, friends. Today, I'm starting my 12th year as the superintendent of the 9 Mile Falls School District. I am humbled to be standing amongst all of you, so many of my colleagues, and my mentors. First and foremost, I'd like to share that I am honored to be on the stage with my friend, Dr. Jake Dingman. Secondly, and appreciatively, I would like to thank the WASA staff for their support and behind-the-scenes work that they do to assist candidates like the two of us. As I was asked to identify goals as part of my brochure, I'm choosing to use my 5 minutes, starting about now, with you to share my lifelong experiences of being a part of this great organization that we call WASA. As a child, I grew up in this association. My sisters and I, along with the other WASA brats, enjoyed the benefits of being a Soups kid. We roamed the hotels and caused havoc in the swimming pools, and best of all, we went trick-or-treating in the vendor hall. I clearly remember walking through the vendor area with my bag loaded down with school supplies, novelties, and other collected treasures. I'm not sure that we were supposed to be there, but I don't recall anybody ever complaining. And Mom was happy to just get rid of us for a bit. At the time, I wasn't sure what WASA was, but it was this summer event that I always looked forward to as a kid. What was obvious to me about this organization is that it brought people together for a common goal as I witnessed the camaraderie and the fellowship from a very early age. I share this dip into my past just to share with you that I was WASA before WASA was cool. Despite growing up in a home of a superintendent, the thought of becoming one could not have been further from my mind when I opted for a career in education. Upon graduating from EWU, I was fortunate to be offered a job in a small rural logging town far from home. I didn't know a soul, and I didn't have a place to live. I was in many ways, like our own students, on an educational adventure. I very much enjoyed teaching the content in my language arts classroom. More so, I loved the ability to cast a net of care to create the relationships with my students. That is actually what drove me the most. During my 7 years of teaching and coaching, I was afforded many leadership opportunities by people who believed in me far more than I believed in myself. I became a middle school, high school principal, and then a superintendent in that same small school district where I began my career. A younger Brian would tell you that I was tricked into administration. The more experienced and thoughtful me can share that I have been blessed with the opportunity to share and lead in this often difficult, sometimes overwhelming, but always exciting work. I'm grateful for the invitation to serve and hopefully give back to an organization that has provided me with many positives, both my personal and my professional life. I've learned that school leadership is not for everyone. It takes a great deal of inner strength, backbone, and a commitment to do what is right rather than what is perceived as such. If leadership was easy, anyone could do it, at least for a minute. I certainly do not profess that these are the hardest of times for school administrators, but I can say with certainty that they are most definitely challenging. Without a doubt, the past 14 months have been the most difficult that I have experienced during my tenure. The conversations that I have had with many of you, as well as the colleagues across the state, remind me that I am not, nor was I ever alone, and neither are you. Initially, I thought that there would be some solace in the fact that we were all struggling together. In time, what I learned was just the opposite. We were each struggling, one district at a time, and independent from one another. While I would have preferred different outcomes regarding McCleary and the so-called fixes, I can only imagine where we would be had it not been for our collective advocacy. Moving forward, I suggest that we must absolutely continue our presence in Olympia and maintain our relationships and talking points with our regionally elected and locally elected officials. I believe that we must establish our common ground, that we relentlessly advocate for it and one another to ensure that the 1,100,000 plus students in this state are equitably supported. Until we as district leaders in every pocket unite in earnest as to what is best for all students, we will continue to provide lawmakers with the opportunity to be indecisive as to a true solution. As educational leaders, we have far more in common than otherwise, and we have WASA to thank for that. It is in the best interest of public education that we galvanize and utilize this vehicle. Upon reflection, I recognize just how much this organization has influenced my life. WASA believes in the potential and different needs of every student. As a classroom teacher, WASA provided me with strong leaders and mentors who understood that students benefit most when taught by caring, supported educators. As district administrators, WASA challenges us to focus on being the best educational leaders in service of the students, staff, and the adults who make up our school communities. My relationship with WASA is unique, and I'm grateful for the impacts that this association has had on my life. It would be my great privilege to serve in the capacity as your president, but far more importantly, it would be my honor to be your strongest advocate, cheerleader, colleague, and friend. As always, I thank each of you for your commitment and servant leadership to our students, staff, schools, and communities. Thank you very much.